Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday night mindset reset. I have another important topic to talk to you about, and I have a question for you. Are you struggling to get visible in your business? Are you struggling to put yourself out there so that the people who you are meant to serve and the clients who probably want to work with you can actually find you? It is not uncommon to have this fear around getting visible and putting yourself out there. But if you want to grow a business, if you're in business for yourself, then you have to be visible. And getting visible, despite all of the strategies and all of the tactics that you can use, getting visible starts with your mindset. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, because if you don't have the mindset right, you're going to trip yourself up. You're going to procrastinate about putting yourself out there, doing Facebook Lives, reaching out to potential clients, even asking for the sale or advertising your services and products so that people can find them and they can actually buy them from you. So when you think about visibility and this fear that you may be struggling with around making yourself visible and putting yourself out there, it does come back to your mindset. And really what it comes back to is owning your value and knowing your value. So we're going to dive into that today. And I forgot to put that up there on my agenda items. I'm all organized here and I can't put it up there. So visibility starts with the mindset. And if you have questions and comments, definitely leave them in the comment area. And like I said, getting visible starts with being clear on your value. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I am Christine Parma, and you can find out more about me at christineparma.com. But I am big into mindset, because really most success comes back to mindset. And when I work with ambitious women to grow their businesses in a way that's sustainable for their lives and create their signature programs and create their offers, if you don't have the mindset piece right, if you don't really understand and acknowledge and own the value that you're bringing to the world and bringing to your clients, then all of the other pieces won't work, or they won't work nearly as well. So my first question for you is, are you struggling with putting yourself out there? Are you feeling self-conscious about it? If you are, please comment in the comment section below. And I know there's a little bit of a lag, so if you post a comment or a question, I'll definitely come back to it. But I'll keep going for the replay. So, if the issue is mindset and you really need to own your value and own your worth, how do you start doing that? That's the big question. How do you start doing that? So of course I have some steps to help you. And this is when I started my current business and launched it after being a stay-at-home mom for a couple of years. I had to get very clear on the value that I had. And even, I was coming out of being a stay-at-home mom, and previous to that, a job where I was the behind-the-scenes person for a pretty big name in the personal development world. And so along with that, comes the feeling of, well, yeah, I was the support person behind the scenes, but can I be the person in the spotlight now? Do I have my own value? And I think a lot of people and a lot of women struggle with this. It may be that you were, a superstar and you're fantastic in a corporate job, and you could sell the pants off of whatever you were selling in that corporate job because it's their brand, right? It's their product, their brand. But when it comes to your own knowledge and your own expertise, you may hesitate a little bit. I know I did, because I thought, do I really have, something that is valuable enough to share that people would pay me for it? Yeah, okay, he's the superstar up there. He's the guy on stage in front of thousands of people. I was the behind the scenes, person making everything work. But can I step into the spotlight and be that person in the spotlight and will people actually find what I'm sharing valuable? So if you can relate to those struggles, let me know in the comments, because first of all, number one, you're not alone. It's totally normal to go through that. But the really important piece is that if it's, your hard work to get your own, to grow your own business, to get your own work into the world, then you have to move past it. And you move past it step by step, but you have to move past it. So I'm going to help you do that today, right now. So step one, after, you've got the concept that, yeah, this is really important, mindset's really important, you need to own your value. Step one is to dig in, right? You've got to dig in and list out your fears. This is what I'm talking about here, is your fears. All those little things going on in your head that are saying, do I really have any value to offer? Will people like me? Will I make a fool of myself? Am I really an expert? And, expert's one of those words that I think people take a little too seriously, because nobody is the expert in the world, really, and you can be an expert in whatever you are, wherever you are right now, to the people that are just a couple of steps behind you, and frankly, people, I think, learn best from people who aren't too far ahead of them. Because it's, it's like financial investing, I used to be in finances. If I went to learn from Warren Buffett, what he would share would be like, woo, right over my head probably. And I probably wouldn't be able to implement the strategies, because I'd be going like from the first rung of the ladder to trying to leap up to the 10th. Whereas somebody who's just a little bit ahead of me, could teach me in a way that I would be able to get better, and they would understand my struggles better also. So, number one is list out those fears. Do you not think you're smart enough or attractive enough to be in the spotlight? Or your personality isn't energetic enough or engaging? It's only the people who have a sparkly personality who should be doing Facebook Lives. Are you an introvert? And so you think, well, because I'm an introvert, that doesn't really, there's no way for me to get visible in a way that feels good. And I promise you, there are ways for you to get visible in a way that feels good to you and is in alignment with your values and your character and who you are. So start by listing out all of those fears. What are your fears around being visible, around putting yourself out there so that you can work with clients and you can grow your business? If you would like to share one of your fears in the comments below, I would love to hear it. Like I said, one of my fears was thinking I really don't have my own value to add. Like, it's nothing original, right? And I promise you, there are very few things, unless it's like a technological innovation, that are actually original in the world. It's just everybody putting their own spin on it. And that's a great thing, to put your own spin on it, because the way you look at something is going to be different given your life experience than the way somebody else looks at it and the way they say it. And the way you say it may be exactly the way that somebody needs to hear it. You may say it at exactly the moment that they need to hear it and they're ready to hear it, and so that they can get the help that they need. Angela says, yes. Angela, is there a particular fear you have around getting visible? I would love for you to hear that by you putting it in the comments below. Alexa says, not an expert. I will see you very soon, Alexa. You're not an expert. So I'm curious, Alexa, why do you think that you're not an expert? You can put it in the comments, please. Is it that you don't have enough experience in that area? You haven't been out there, long enough. You haven't been in business yet, or you don't have enough clients, so therefore you can't be an expert. Alexa gives me a smiley face. Yes. I know when exactly this was my situation when I started. I was coming out from the shadow, essentially, of a person that a lot of people call a guru and an expert. So I'm like, well, I'm not him. I can't measure up to that. I'm not, don't have thousands of people coming to my events. So yeah, I'm not an expert. Alexa says she hasn't had actual experience. Well, Alexa, I promise you, just from what I know about you, you do have experience in relationships. She says she's not out there much, even though she has lots of study and personal experience around her business. Yeah, so so this, I'm so glad you brought this up. So everybody starts out, right? Everybody starts out from ground zero when they're putting their hard work into the world and starting their businesses. I know your area is relationships. Well, you've had relationships in your life. I'm sure of it. You have relationships in your life, and how you have navigated those relationships and worked through struggles. And I know yours is around intimacy. What you've discovered in your own process is valuable information, because the things that you struggled with, and you may still sometimes be struggling with and discovering with regards to intimate relationships, are the same things that other people are struggling with. So when people are looking for someone to help them, I think there's this myth, and people kind of in the back of their minds think, oh, I want the expert, go to the guru, and the person has to be, the people think that they have to be perfect in order to help people. And I promise you, when you're not perfect, when you still have struggles, when you're still discovering things, but you may have like additional insights and a different perspective on things to offer people, that's what people connect with, because they're thinking, I'm stuck here deep in my problem, and this person's, perfect. They're unreachable. They're unattainable in a way. But can I make a few steps forward and improve my situation? Can this person help me get to the end that I want, the end goal that I want to reach? Yes, they can. You're relatable when you're not perfect, and frankly, there is no such thing as perfect, right? So we will talk more about that, Alexa, definitely. Angela says she's not following the mold of what the team is supposed to do, and you're probing the potential customers enough to sound like I'm telling them something and building relationships. Or am I probing them enough to sound like you're not selling something and building relationships? So, okay, I'm not totally clear on exactly what that means. I think you're talking about direct sales. But you're feeling like you're afraid to be visible because you're working outside the mold, or you're saying that's the way that you're getting visible? Because here's how I think about it. You can look at strategies that work, and if they don't work quite for you, make them your own. Work outside the mold. I am not a person who likes to stay exactly inside the lines. I like to find out what works and then combine it with other things, or do it a little differently to make it work better for me and to make it work better for my clients. That's how I feel. And at the end, you have to feel good about how you're getting visible. And getting to the point where you feel good about getting visible begins with you trying, begins with you starting to get visible. So I'll tell you, I wasn't doing Facebook Lives before January of this year. And I had that tape playing in my head of, oh, well, I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. I don't have it all planned out entirely. And maybe I will make a fool of myself. Maybe people won't enjoy my, what I'm sharing on my live streams, yada, 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 yada. And it stopped me for a long time. Then I'm like, no, I just need to get into action. And it's in the process of being in action that the fear starts to fall away. It really does. You may have a little bit of discomfort because it's new until you've kind of gotten versed in it and you feel more comfortable. I feel comfortable now doing Facebook Lives, but when I started, I certainly did not feel comfortable. So all that, it was new and all that mind chatter was going on. Angela says, same here, correct. What works for one person may not work for others, and what works for her upline may not work for me. Yeah, totally. And, the whole point is you've got to commit to a way of getting visible that you can actually commit to. So if you hate doing Facebook Lives, now I would say you can't know you hate them until you've tried them, because I thought I was, it was scary, and I love them now. So sometimes you have to try things, really. It's kind of like kids with food. You got to try the food first before you declare you hate the vegetable. That's what I say. It doesn't always get them to try it, but I think that's the truth. You have to try things to know if it's something that's going to resonate with you and you can commit to doing, or something that's not. Because if you hate doing something, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it consistently, and you're going to, if you have to do it, you're going to do it grudgingly, and it's not going to be any fun. And that's not the point of being in business for yourself, right? That's not why you started your business. So thank you for your comments. And if you're catching it on the replay, definitely comment in the comment section. I'll come back and comment on that. Oh, and if you're liking this and you think somebody could use hearing this message, please share this video. I would so appreciate it. So step 1 we've covered. You dig in and you list out those fears that you have. Now, the second step to this is look at all those fears that you've listed out. I'm not an expert. Nobody's going to like what I have to say. I won't have enough to say. All these fears. Look at them, and are they true or are they not? If they're not 100% true, then there is room in there for them to not be true, to not be entirely not true. Like if you said, I'm not an expert, think, well, in what ways am I an expert? Take the counter position. Try and disprove that fear or that thought that you have. Well, what qualities does an expert have? Well, if they're an expert, in relationships, have they been in a relationship? Yes. Well, if you've been in a relationship, then you have some credibility for being an expert in relationships. Especially, if you've been in messy relationships, for example, because who better to help the people who are still stuck in the messy relationships, or the relationships that are lacking in intimacy, or, the broken marriages, than somebody who's been through it. So rather than hide the messiness of your life, that should be part of what you kind of advertise in a way so that you can help people. Because somebody wants to know if you've been there, you've been through it, you can relate to them, and you've made it to the other side. That's what I look for in a coach. I don't look for a coach who started off making $1 million, on day one. I want a coach who went through the struggle, who, had problems, getting clients or getting visible, all these things, like whatever I'm looking for in a coach or, a program or somebody to help me. I want to know they've been through the struggle so that they can understand what I'm struggling with, whatever that problem is. It's the same for your clients. Angela says, what she's being encouraged to do is to text or message people individually, a messaging blitz, and she feels like she's bothering them, versus doing a group post, Facebook Live, or post from everywhere, can see and comment. So, okay, so this is great. Thank you so much for bringing this up, Angela. So this is, and only you can really answer this, are the text messages, and I don't know what kind of, text messages are happening, what a messaging blitz is exactly, but I can imagine what it is. Are they truly intrusive? Now, the thing is, could you change something or the way that you're doing the text messages that would actually feel good to you and would actually be of value and inviting to the people that you're texting? So there's like a way to message people that are like, hey, guess what? Buy this thing now, sale, promo. And that's kind of, maybe a little icky. I mean, unless you sign up to get the messages like sale messages from Target or something. Or there's a way to message people personally, or personalize it and say, hey, you know what? A lot of people who contact me, they're struggling with this problem. And, I've come up with this really helpful tip and I'd love to share it with you. Would you like to hear it? Ask permission. And then they can reply and say yes or no, or don't reply to the people and say, yeah, I'd love to hear that tip. Then you share it with them. So, there are ways to use marketing strategies that you may not feel good about in the way that you've been told to do them, and make them work for you. Also, if you feel better about doing Facebook Lives or posts, definitely do those, because then you'll be more consistent about doing the posts or doing the Facebook Lives. And Facebook Lives are an awesome way to connect with your audience. Alexa says it's not true. Yes, I think this is going back to the you're not an expert point. Yeah, it's not true that you're not an expert. So you're an expert with that, the messy relationships. I think that's what the comment is going back to. Yes, yeah, I think most of us, pretty much all of us, have been through at least one really messy relationship, college time, at least, maybe past that. Yeah, so go back to your list and look at, are all these fears that are going on in my head that are preventing me from getting visible and getting in front of my potential clients, are they true or are they not true? Angel says, yeah, she has to make her messages sound not salesy. Right. Alexa says, yes, agreed on the messy relationships. Too true. So go back. True, not true. Do that for your list. Third step is you want to list out your value. List out what you bring to the table. What do you bring to your clients, to your business, to the world? What is the value that you bring? And if you're struggling with, well, I don't know, I'm not special and there's really nothing, that I bring to the table, ask yourself these questions. What do people praise you for? What do they say you're great at? What do they say? Do they say you're funny? I mean, it doesn't even have to be business related. Do they say you're funny or you're honest or you're really good at, some particular skill or doing something? What do people praise you for and thank you for? And then what do people often ask for your help with? I mean, it could be girlfriends or family members or, the community around you. They know that you're good at doing something and they ask your help for it. A lot of times we have trouble seeing what we're good at and acknowledging what we're good at, because usually what we're good at comes easily to us. And there's kind of this inherent belief in society that says, at least in Western society, that you have to work hard and it has to be hard in order for you to be good at it and an expert and be paid well for it. And if it's something that comes easily to you and naturally to you, then that's not really valuable because you didn't really work for it. That's a bunch of bull. That is a bunch of bull. What you are naturally good at and talented and you enjoy doing is a sign of what you should be doing. It is a sign of you have a gift for doing that, and not everybody else does. That is the other trap you can fall into. So you think, well, just because this is easy for me, or I get this piece, I totally understand how to do, Facebook ads, or whatever, or selling. And so everybody else must get it too, because it's so easy for me. Yeah, it's easy for everybody else. So therefore it's not valuable. And why would somebody pay me for it? And that's not correct. I'm calling bull on that too. So what comes easily for you and what people ask you for help with is a sign. So list these out too. What do people repeatedly ask your advice about? What have you achieved in your business or your life in the past month or the past years that could be valuable and useful and helpful to somebody else? These are all ways that you bring value and that you should be sharing about when you are out there, in getting yourself out there and building your business. So list out your value. Angela says she's in an area where she doesn't know many people and she's trying to figure out ways to invite them to events without creepy or selling them something. Yeah. So I am not an expert in direct sales. I haven't ever been in direct sales. I know a lot of people who've been in direct sales, and I've been to events from direct sales. And I would say, the key to inviting people, number one is a little segue here is, and this is any invitation that you make on your website, on your, the offer that you make for your services or your products, is you have to speak to people's problems. and the solution that you have that will help them. Because no matter what you're selling, if it's essential oils or if it's shoes, if it's, relationship help or business coaching, people will buy from you ultimately because, well, they like you, but also because you are helping to solve a problem they have. You are helping to make their life better in some way. So you have to know what it is the problem is that you're solving. No matter what it is you're selling, there is a problem that you're helping to solve. So in thinking about your invitations to your events, Angela, you can make it more enticing for people by helping them to see how you're helping them solve a problem that they may have. And you should obviously be targeting people who probably are struggling with that problem. The invitation will be more enticing to them, and if you do that. So can be a totally other live stream for sure in and of itself. So I want to keep going though with adding your value. So list out your value, and then put the lists, your fears and the value you bring to the table side by side. Put them side by side, and look at it. When you see the value listed out, the things that you bring to the table, the things that people praise you for, the things that people say you're good at, and you look at your fears, it can help disprove those fears. So this comes back to the topic here, which is owning your value. You've got to get comfortable with that value that's listed on the page, and part of that process is listing it out so that you can see it in black and white, written down on paper or typed out. And if it helps to post that list, like on your bathroom mirror, so you can see it every morning, do that and work on owning that value. And you can do it incrementally by saying, people praise me for how I help people through a messy relationship, let's just say, since we were using that example. So then you can start to explore, well, what do I do? How do I really help people through the messy relationship? Am I a great listener? And, do I give them a step-by-step process? Am I very supportive? You can list out the characteristics and start owning those and acknowledging yourself for those. Because I promise you also, these values that you list out are a lot of the things that you should put in your offers so that people can say, yeah, she's the one, or yeah, he's the one that I need to work with. She's the one who can help me solve this problem I have. So the final step is, the action step really is to change your thinking and change your thoughts. Because if you don't start owning your value, if you don't change your thoughts around getting visible and and experimenting with ways that feel good to you in getting visible, then it is going to be super hard for you to grow your business. God's honest truth here. It's going to be really hard for you, because the bottom line is, if you don't value you and you don't value the ways that you can help people, how can you expect anybody else to value it? How can you, if you can't own that you're great at helping people with relationships, you're great at helping people with weight loss or nutrition or business coaching or whatever it is that you do, or that you are selling the best dang essential oils or shoes or the cutest shoes on the planet, then you can't expect anybody else to believe it if you don't believe it first. So success in business and getting yourself visible starts with your mindset. That is why I work with my clients on mindset so much, because without that, you're going to end up sabotaging yourself. You're going to hold yourself back. You're going to procrastinate about doing the things you need to do to grow your business. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I have a gift for you, a free gift for you. I've put together a email course, a 5-day course called the High Growth Formula, and it really touches on all of the areas that you need to be doing and the things you need to be doing to grow your business and to get visible and get out there. And it gives you concrete strategies and action steps. Because if you know me by now, you know I am all about the action. You got to implement it. Learning's great, but you got to get into action. So, and if you loved this video or you found it useful, or you think you know somebody who could use hearing this message, please share it. I would so appreciate it. Oh, and of course, I didn't tell you. To get the course, type GROW in the comments below. Sorry, went out of my head there. Type GROW, the word GROW, in the comments below, and you will get a message in your Facebook Messenger inbox with just confirming that you want it. So you'll have to reply to the message with the word GROW. So I'm not spamming anybody. And you will get that course link sent to you, so you can get that. And you can, if you want to know more about me, you can find out more about me at christineparma.com, or hop on over to my Facebook group, Successful Women Entrepreneurs. We have started growing an amazing community of women there. I'm in there to support you. They're in there to support you. You can get access to special trainings I do in there that I don't do here. So I do them just for the Successful Women Entrepreneurs group. And also a lot more access to me and my feedback and my coaching on your specific problems and situations and answering your questions. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Okay, Angela and Alexa, you should have a message in your inbox momentarily with that free course. So definitely grab that. And I will be back next week here on my Facebook page. Again, on Thursday night, I'm doing it, and I will definitely I'm every day in the Successful Women Entrepreneurs group. So if you're an ambitious woman who is wanting to grow a wildly successful business without sacrificing everything that matters to you along the way, then definitely join us over there. And until I see you next time, I will see you guys soon. I wish you amazing success. Bye-bye and take care.